Hello, party people. Tony Rowe here. Okay, let's play. We'll play a Sicilian today. I hovered over the E-pawn. I almost Frenched it. We're going to play a Sicilian against ramoz. Okay, we'll allow... excuse me. We'll allow the Rossolimo. My opponent does not want to do it. Do I want to Kalash or do I want to... I've kind of been in the hyper accelerated or accelerated dragon mood. Okay. That's I can only imagine that he... Well, no. Okay. I don't even know what to say. This move only makes sense as a mouse slip trying to go c4, but you know, to each their own. This is the key benefit of going the accelerated dragon route compared to the dragon, is that in these times where my opponent plays such that I get in d5, that I can do it in one go instead of having to go d6 and then d5. So I gain a tempo over a normal dragon. And this is the dream right here, I think. Okay. By the way, shout out to my one lone spectator here. I'm gonna butcher your name, and I apologize for that. Radowin Bauruga. That's my bad. That I'm an ignorant American and I don't know how to say your name. But he sent me a very nice message. I haven't responded to it yet. That he liked my channel and that he was starving for more videos. And so here I am, trying to feed him. One idea that looks very tempting in this position is to go knight e3, fe3, and then e5. Grabbing the two bishops and also just blowing open the center for the bishops. He's ill-equipped. Normally, like if this bishop was on e2, let's say, if this bishop was on e2, he'd be able to go knight e3, fe3, e5, and then just meet it by d5 and push past. And then e5 wouldn't make a lot of sense because I'd be blocking in my own bishop here. But in this specific position, knight takes e3, f takes e3, e5, you can't go d5 because I can just take on d5. And so I think, man, if he has to take here, that would be extremely disgusting. Then he'd be left with all kinds of dark square weaknesses on his king side, on his queen side, and this weak e3 pawn. So I think this looks good enough that I'm not going to think about much else. Bishop takes d4 doesn't work here, does it? Rook f2. No. Okay. Probably doesn't work on king h1 either, but it's worth considering. But rook f2. Bishop d4, e takes d4, queen takes d4, rook f2 also protects. God, I'm terrible with the arrows. See, this is what happens when I don't record videos. My fine motor skills go right out the window. The only thing I have to worry a little bit about in this position is that f7 is a little sensitive, but somehow I feel like that shouldn't be game ending. So now in order to avoid just losing a pawn straight up, yeah, white has to take rather. I can also think about queen b6 here. Queen b6, yeah, that's actually pretty interesting, isn't it? Because queen b6, he kind of wants to go queen f3, but then what does he do on queen takes b2? Hitting his rook. He doesn't actually have any squares for the knight that save the rook, which is somewhat humorous. So I guess he can go queen e2. And then I take. I'm just going to go bishop e5. This way I think queen b6 is actually a threat because queen e2 now, then queen takes b2 anyway. And I'm winning some stuff. So this position looks better for black. I've got the 2 bishops, and white has the worst pawn structure. The only thing he can really hang his hat on is this open f-file, which could become quite relevant if I'm not careful. So I'm going to be careful. Of course, I have the threat of bishop takes b2 right now that he has to deal with. I would presume he would just go knight c3. Again, though, knight c3, queen b6. Maybe knight d5. Queen b2, rook b1. I mean, it's complicated. I feel like if I get a move where I'm not hanging b7 and I get to go bishop e6, white will basically have essentially nothing as compensation for me having the 2 bishops in the better structure. Bishop e6 would take away bishop c4 and protect f7 at the same time, and I think I would just consolidate a pretty large advantage in that case. Of course, I can contemplate kind of loosey-goosey stuff like that, but somehow that doesn't feel like that's going to be the way I win this game through direct kingside attack. But it's too easy for white to, I think, like filter his pieces over to the kingside to stop that. But who knows? Okay, so he goes queen e2. I think I am going to take this moment to just go bishop e6. It might not be the most accurate move. Maybe there's better. But this looks good enough. Black's advantage is not one where I think I can bungle this by making like one inaccurate move. It's not like my advantage is kind of hanging on the precipice here. It's more of a long-term advantage. So now do I want to go queen h4? I could. No tactics. I don't see anything. Queen h4, I would guess white would go rook f3 to stop queen g3. And I was thinking about rook a to d8. Idea being rook a to f1, rook takes d3, queen takes d3, bishop c4. Can go something like queen b6. The only thing I don't like about queen b6 is that after, I mean, knight e4, he's hanging b2, but I was thinking knight e4 to g5 is a little bit irritating. Yeah, I'll just chuck this thing over here. Sound chess rationale. I'll just chuck this thing over here. Hope everyone's doing well. I've been pretty busy. I do apologize for the 3 week or so lag in videos. I mean, it's always the case that I say this every friggin' video. I have a lot of ideas and not a lot of time. Queen f3. Okay, well, I'm still gonna go rook a to d8. Yeah, and now I can just go b6 and consolidate the pawn on b7 from being loose. I mean, at any given moment, I can sort of play bishop takes c3 and further wreck white's pawn structure, but I kind of like this bishop. I'm not sure the pawn structure deficit is as powerful as just having the two bishops, especially this dark square bishop. So I'll probably wait on that. Maybe if it won that pawn, I would do it, but yeah. There's also the idea of rook a to d1, rook takes d3, then bishop c4. That does allow rook d7. Bishop takes, maybe even king takes. Could also just go rook d7 here. Rook d7 knight e4, knight c5 would be kind of irritating, but I'm thinking even rook d7 knight e4 bishop a2 is possible. Be kind of rude. Rook d7 knight e4, rook takes d3, rook takes d3, bishop f5. Does that work? It might, actually. Okay, I think rook d7 is going to be good regardless, so let's just do that. Trying to properly manage my time, or at least come close to it. No guarantees, of course. I gotta tell you, as a general chess aside, I think this Aegon charging $10 for people to watch their Grand Prix broadcast is complete and utter nonsense. And it's not a business model that is going to work out for them. It's not even necessarily wrong for them to do so. Like, it's not like really unprecedented. I mean, here in America, people pay specifically for football channels or that kind of thing. But people have been getting free chess content for so long now that, like, really good free coverage, that it just seems completely friggin' ludicrous for people to have to pay for this kind of stuff now. It's just, I don't think it's gonna work, but that's just me. I'm extremely interested in the idea of rook takes d3 here. I'm trying to figure out if it works. So rook d3, bishop f5. One thing I was a little bit concerned about was knight f6 check. I think I can go queen takes f6. And on e4, which tries to exploit that pin, I can go queen b6 check. And then just move my light squared bishop back or something. Takes. Takes, bishop f5, and queen f2, hitting the queen. I can just go queen e4. There is rook d3, bishop f5. Knight f6 check, queen takes g4. Queen a6. Hitting this rook. G takes, queen d3. Yeah, I think I'm just holding on there. He does have knight c5. Rook d3. There, knight c5. Chess is hard. Not sure. Rook d3 immediately also. Also bishop d5 looks interesting. f5 would be a pretty legitimate threat there, I think. Bishop d5. Yeah, let's go with that. That seems kind of hard to me. Unless I'm missing something obvious. Shout out to this queen on h4. He has queen f2. This is a move that I looked at, but I think just queen takes f2 and I can take on a2. I think that would be very reasonable. At some point, if I have time, I think to slow down, I might just play b6 and remove the b7 pawn and from danger and also stop knight c5. That would be a nice consolidating move. Right now, both of these pawns are hanging. It seems to my advantage. Okay, so I would presume that white's idea is f5, rook d5. I can't play f takes e4 because of queen takes f8 mate. How risky is it to go rook f to d8 right now? Rook d5, rook d5. Bishop b3. Rook d7. Bishop f7, king g7. I mean, I kind of feel like being the only one with the dark squared bishop is enough to guarantee that I'm not going to get checkmated or something. I don't see anything much better. I think this renews the threat of f5. Maybe. Knight f6, perhaps? Did I miss that? Queen takes. Bishop takes. No, it doesn't work at all. Where did my time go? I feel like a move ago I had 9 minutes or something. I suck at this game. Yeah, but I think this whole Aegon thing is kind of insane. It certainly doesn't help their cause, and I think this is part of the problem that they were total jerks about the World Championship too, and they were like suing Chess24 and ChessGames.com and all that nonsense. That's kind of a turd move. You're not gonna win anyone over into paying $10 or $30 for the whole event or whatever by suing all of the other people who are doing coverage. You know, there's been like total radio silence on Twitter from places like Chess24 about this tournament because they just simply don't want to give Aegon any like publicity or link to Aegon's website or anything like that because it's just totally absurd what they're doing. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic right now in the chess world with regards to coverage. It's kind of a mess. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe rook takes d5 is reasonable. Rook takes d5. Rook takes d5. There's not even White doesn't even have to go bishop b3 first. I guess they can just play queen takes f7. King h8 is forced. Yeah, even queen b7 maybe. That's not bad. Maybe I should not have allowed this. King h8, queen b7. Or anything there. So rook d5, rook d5, queen f7. Yeah. I mean, I can just go rook 5 to d7 maybe. Save my a pawn. I might have to do that, as sad as that looks. Again, I'm very happy that I'm the only one with the dark square bishop, because otherwise my king would be in very serious trouble. It'll be worth going back and looking at this position, because I think there were a lot of enticing options, and it was hard for me to figure out which one was the best. b2 still hanging. I will take that. If white were to play something weird like queen e6, I'll just take here, I think. I don't see why I wouldn't. I'm tired. Play the accelerated dragon, they said. It's safe, they said. No, I mean, I got a great position onto the opening. I think I didn't make the most of my position around this point. Maybe my position here is even better than I have right now, even though I'm up in exchange. I don't know. Feels to me like that way, at least. But I'm also not one to enjoy complications involving my king, so maybe objectively I'm much better here too. And whoa. Interesting. There's no real threat. I can take this. I mean, he's not threatening anything, but it does seem pretty natural to just lop that thing off. Okay, he's threatening to take here, but I'm obviously going to deal with that somehow. Rook d2 and bishop f6 are my main candidate moves. I could even go rook d6, I suppose. But I doubt I will. I don't see why I would want to do that over this. I would have to imagine that taking with the queen is almost losing immediately to just rook d2 at the end. And he can't even go rook f2 because if rook takes, king takes, and then rook d2 check wins the bishop. So he'd lose the b pawn. But rook d2 first is also pretty enticing. Am I missing anything? I don't want to get checkmated here. Rook d2 hits the bishop and also threatens rook takes g2 because of this check and mate. So I think I'm gonna play that. It seems quite good. No reason to give up my strong dark squared bishop at the moment. Yeah, this is a pretty terminal threat, it looks like. He almost has to just hang this bishop now. Yeah, times are pretty bad here. Rook c1 maybe? It looks gross, but it protects the bishop, and also now rook g2, king g2, queen g3 can be met by king f1. Oh, rook c1 just hangs the knight. Okay. You know, chess is funny that way. Like sometimes, you know, I look at a move like rook c1 because it kind of meets the demands of the position, and then I start calculating stuff like how dumb you look sometimes depends on which moves you look at first. It's like, you know, rook c1 is clearly a double question mark, but if you start looking at rook takes g2 check, king takes g2, and then like rook d2 or queen g3 or queen g5 or whatever, it might be a while before you realize that rook c1 is just a blunder in one move, which is pretty funny. At least to me, because I think stupid things are funny. Excuse the yawning. I just had a very carby sandwich, which means my blood sugar is spiking right now. And when that happens... Oh, I didn't see that move. Probably just going into this ending is good. I mean... I take the B pawn now, and I'm threatening to double on the D file. This should be good enough. Obviously, Rook F6 in here is not playable. Is there anything better? No. He does get to go Rook F7, which is kind of annoying. And his bishop is pretty good at guarding G2. Somehow I feel like I should be winning here, though. I mean, Rook F7 seems like the only move, honestly. A4, huh? Now he loses the 7th rank, though. I feel like being active with Rook F7 was pretty much White's only hope, unless I'm missing something. Which I am. I've been known to miss things. King F7. Yeah, trading off a set of rooks here would be nice. Rook E8, bishop D5 check. Ooh, I don't have any time. Now if he doesn't want to trade rooks, he has to play Rook G5, which is pretty hideous. Hangs E3, but it's also just a disgusting place for a rook. Am I streaming? I don't know. Are you? No real choice. Okay, let's activate the king. And I'm going to make a passer, and that's probably going to be mostly that. Rook B4 is kind of irritating now, of course. Guess he has bishop C6, but that would leave his bishop pretty... Yeah, I mean, bishop C6, then Rook B3 check is also good. I'm going to do that first. I'm just going to pop into the F4 square. I'm just going to be really rude. Oh my god, I hung a rook. Oh my god. Oh no. You big dumb animal. And there's bishop C3 check. Wow, is this bad. Holy hell, is this bad. Oh no. Why? Okay. Wow, times are bad. Okay. Bishop d3, I guess. Can I draw? Can I draw if I just sack this pawn? I don't know if I can. I doubt it. I'm just going to play a5. Oh my god, I'm so bad at chess. I'm just losing now. I mean, there's almost no way this is a draw. Oh my god, I'm disgusting. Don't look at me. Oh my god, he has h4. I'm just dead. Alright, I'm just going to resign. I'm also going to go kill myself. Alright. Jesus God. Well, alright. I'm a man of my word, and this will go on YouTube. Man, it'd be a real shame if my recording software screwed up right now, wouldn't it? Where the hell's the study? That's not what I wanted. What the heck? Okay, here we go. Man. Okay. Well, sometimes I do play g6. Like if I have a feeling that someone wants to play the Rossalimo or something, g6 is worth trying out. The downside, of course, is that other things start popping up as playable. Like for instance, c3 transposes to an Alekhine where black is committed to play a setup with g6. So you pretty much have to go either bishop g7, d4, takes, d5, or you have to go just d5 immediately. Those are really the only two playable options. There's also queen takes d4, knight f6, and then there's e5 right away, or some people try and get really fancy and go bishop b5 and just preempt knight c6 with bishop takes. So that's possible. And I think even like Gowan Jones in his book recommended bishop c4, which is kind of odd, but yeah, maybe it's playable. I haven't really looked into it. But yeah, I've been looking a little bit at bishop b5, g6, and I think it's just completely playable for black. It should be fine. In my book, I recommended knight f6, but you know, you got to keep things fresh. I'm not sure. Maybe this guy actually meant to play c3 based on how quickly he played his other moves, but I kind of assumed it was a mouse slip. The main lines here in the accelerated dragon would be c4, and then black has a choice of a few systems. You can go bishop g7, bishop e3, knight f6, knight c3, castles, bishop e2, d6, castles, and then either bishop d7 or knight takes d4 immediately. But either way, black is sort of angling for some kind of a setup like this one. And then black will try and trade off the dark squared bishops with knight d7, play knight c5, play queen b6, etc. There's also the so-called Gurganidze setup, which sees black taking on d4 before playing anything else, basically to drag the queen out before white gets to play bishop e3. Now the queen is sort of on the long diagonal. And also black gets to exchange a pair of minor pieces, which is advantageous given the fact that he has less space. It's also possible to just go knight c3 here, and then after I attack your knight on d4 with bishop g7, bishop e3, knight f6, bishop c4, castles. It suffices to say here that white cannot play like the normal Yugoslav moves with queen d2 or f3 for various reasons, but the usual move is bishop b3. This also avoids knight takes e4, knight takes e4, d5. And then there are a bunch of moves. You can go d6, and you can indeed transpose back to a Yugoslav attack when it's now possible, or a pawn sacrifice with d5 is playable. E6 intending d5 is possible. What else? Some people go a5 here. There are a lot of moves. I think black is okay, but also has to know his stuff. But we get... I think this is just way too slow from white. c3 and h3 are both pretty lame, I think. And after black opens up the game, I feel like he should already be better. This is just an extremely, extremely good dragon. And I think probably white should take here first. And at least try, I don't know, either e5 or like... yeah, taking looks bad, but maybe taking. Probably knight takes c6 was better regardless, though. Because I think e takes d5, knight d4. Maybe my opponent missed this, and he thought I was going to go knight takes d5, knight c6, and be able to play this position, which is probably closer to equal than... But the position with the Alekhine here is pretty much a dream for black, I think. Active pieces, easy development, and of course this weakness on d4, this great knight on c3. This would be... yeah, I mean, black's already better. And then, yeah, bishop e3 is probably an inaccuracy. Feels to me like maybe knight c3 would be the most reasonable. Yeah, it does hang d4. I kind of assumed maybe there was this, yeah. But I guess c3 is hanging, or f2 check. Yeah, or maybe bishop c4. The problem with bishop c4, though, is just bishop e6. You do pretty much have to go bishop b3, and then black should be better somehow anyway, maybe queen d6. I don't know, but this feels bad. Precisely because of this. I think this is just too good. Oh, I missed a cheapo. Yeah, this was there. Not much to it either, just very, very simple. Did not see it. Yeah, that's dumb. There's a lot of stuff here. I can play here, but it doesn't feel like it leads to much of anything. This is the exact line I thought of, even here. This is quite a bit less clear to me, but yeah, there is, oops, this, which I suppose is better. So queen takes f1 is a better try. Yeah, the problem is this thing is kind of irritating. Yeah, I thought about this. I don't think there's anything really wrong with it. I looked at this line exactly. I didn't see this. I thought after rook a1 I'd have to go back to e6. And I obviously did not like that because knight e6 is winning. I didn't see that I had bishop c4 and my queen was protecting the c4 square. Yeah. There was this too, but... oh, g4 immediately. Did not see that. It felt weird, but I missed it. Bishop d5. Yeah, we sort of... yeah, knight f6 was just not good. I mean, it's pretty obviously not good once I play rook d2. Bishop e4 is probably close to the only move, I would guess. Yeah, stupid. I could have also just grabbed this tempo first and then played rook takes b2, because this allows this. Stupid. Yeah, I mean, this is just stone cold winning. God, that's embarrassing. Just absolutely dead lost. Up in exchange. And practically a pawn, since his e-pawn is literally never going anywhere. I just get to make a b-pawn for nothing. So sick. God damn. Well, I had to do it sometime. Oops. There had to be some kind of horrific blunder on my channel eventually. I'm surprised it took this long. What an idiot. That's pretty much the game, folks. I was like, for a second I thought I was going to get really lucky here and be able to draw because he's got the wrong bishop. Like if I could just get rid of these pawns with, like, let's say a6 b5. It doesn't even work. He always has a5, but like I was dreaming of going a6 bishop d3 b5 and takes, and then, like, it makes no damn sense now that I look at it, because he's always playing h4 and making a g pawn and not an h pawn. But you know, it's gonna destroy all the evidence that I was even thinking about such a crappy idea. Yeah, this is just gross. This feels so bad. Okay, well, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I hope you also don't unsubscribe and that you'll still, you know,